You know, I usually stay out of these conversations, but with Caitlin Clark, I can't stay silent anymore.
But my first inclination is to say that this person is not a female. Firstly, because this was actually posted to Brittney's personal Instagram.
Hello and welcome back, my dear viewers. I hope you're all doing great. Today, I'm back with another exciting WNBA update that I believe you're really going to enjoy, so make sure you stay with me until the very end. And if you're a true Caitlin Clark fan, drop CC 100% in the comments, so I know you're part of this incredible community. Now, without wasting any more time, let's jump straight into today's story. What happens when one of the greatest basketball legends of all time sees the WNBA's brightest young star being treated in a way that raises serious questions? You're about to find out, because Michael Jordan's explosive comments about Brittney Griner's alleged behavior toward Caitlin Clark have reportedly sent shockwaves through the basketball world. But before we get into that, let me ask you something. Have you ever seen an elite athlete become the target of so much attention and physical play the way Caitlin Clark has throughout her career? After what he reportedly witnessed during the Connecticut Sun game, many believe Michael Jordan's opinion of the WNBA changed completely. That is the part of this story that has created so much discussion around Brittney Griner. In many ways, Michael Jordan understands exactly what Caitlin Clark is going through. During the 1980s, he was the best player in a league filled with incredible talent, and when opponents couldn't match his skill or basketball IQ, they often tried to stop him with physical intimidation instead. However, Michael Jordan also pointed out one important difference. This is where the conversation surrounding Brittney Griner becomes even more interesting. Jordan understands the clear line between tough, championship-level basketball and what he believes he witnessed involving Caitlin Clark. According to the claims being shared, he described it as one of the most cowardly things he had seen on a basketball court in decades. You heard that right. If you're enjoying this content, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 90% of the people watching still haven't subscribed. It's completely free, it only takes a second, and it helps support the channel more than you can imagine. So have you subscribed yet? If you have, thank you so much for your support. Now, let's get right back to today's story.
As far as I understand, it's mostly women without penises, but I leave that to you to figure it. Well, it's actually a little unclear because this Brittney Griner, a lot of people think she's a dude. But in any event, Brittney Griner is a black basketball player who some people think is a man.
The video shows a glimpse of what life was like for WNBA star Brittney Griner inside Russian prison. She spent her days carrying fabric because she was too tall to sit at the sewing tables where other prisoners worked. Her bed was too small for her 6'9" frame. Griner was arrested back in February for traveling with hashish oil, a substance banned in Russia. She was sentenced to 9 years in prison in August. Her release part of a prisoner swap for Victor Bout, a convicted Russian arms dealer.
When Michael Jordan reportedly watched the footage of Brittney Griner making contact with Caitlin Clark, he reacted immediately and very strongly. This is a man who competed against legendary enforcers like Dennis Rodman and Bill Laimbeer, so he understands better than almost anyone what real competitive intensity looks like. But even he reportedly believed that Brittney Griner's actions went beyond the normal limits of sportsmanship and fair competition. What stood out the most to Michael Jordan was the timing of the shove. According to the claims being shared, that was the part of the incident he found most troubling. The basketball legend reportedly addressed a point that many fans had already been discussing, but very few people with his level of influence were willing to say publicly. He suggested that taking a cheap shot at a player when they are completely exposed and not expecting it is very different from playing tough, championship-level defense. Jordan explained that even during what many consider the most physical era in NBA history, players faced each other directly instead of waiting for an opponent to turn away before making a move. That, according to these reports, is what frustrated him the most about Brittney Griner's actions. As the discussion continued, Michael Jordan's criticism reportedly placed even more pressure on Brittney Griner's public image. He was also said to be disappointed by her reaction after the incident. Instead of expressing regret or admitting that she may have crossed the line, Griner reportedly suggested that both the media and fans were judging her unfairly, saying, "Damned if I do, damned if I don't." According to the claims circulating online, those comments only made Michael Jordan even more frustrated. He reportedly believes that true champions and legendary competitors always accept responsibility for their actions, especially when those actions could put another player's safety at risk. Jordan was also said to believe that when athletes avoid accountability and present themselves as the victim, it often reflects a deeper issue. Rather than competing with skill, preparation, and hard work, some players look for other ways to influence the outcome of the game. According to these reports, Michael Jordan suggested that relying on questionable tactics instead of basketball ability is not the mark of a great competitor. This is where his comments about Caitlin Clark become even more interesting. Jordan reportedly sees many of the same rare qualities in Caitlin Clark that helped make him one of the greatest players in basketball history. He reportedly admires her outstanding basketball IQ, her incredible ability to deliver in clutch moments, and, most importantly, her unique talent for making every player around her better. At the same time, as someone who deeply respects the game, he is reportedly concerned that such a gifted young athlete has to spend so much energy protecting herself from unnecessary physical play instead of focusing completely on reaching her full potential. According to the claims being shared, Michael Jordan believes that the approach some players have taken against Caitlin Clark represents everything that is wrong with the way certain competitors respond to elite talent. Instead of improving their own game, working harder, and matching her skill through dedication and preparation, they allegedly choose to rely on physical tactics when she is at her most vulnerable. He reportedly described that kind of behavior as one of the worst examples of basketball competition he has ever seen. Because of these reported comments, the entire basketball world has been talking about Michael Jordan's reaction. He reportedly compared Caitlin Clark's situation to some of the physical challenges he faced during his own career, but he also pointed out one major difference. According to these claims, Caitlin Clark is only 22 years old and is already dealing with more pressure and adversity than many athletes experience throughout their entire careers, all while carrying the expectations of becoming the face of women's basketball. And what Michael Jordan reportedly said next about Brittney Griner's future has quickly gone viral across social media. According to the claims being shared, he warned that if the WNBA allows players to repeatedly target its biggest stars without meaningful consequences, it sends the message that average players can stay relevant through questionable tactics instead of improving their basketball skills and earning recognition through performance alone. According to the claims being shared, Michael Jordan believes this creates a dangerous precedent that could discourage the very players who are raising the standard of the league. He reportedly went even further by saying that if these kinds of incidents are not handled properly, it sends the wrong message to young athletes watching from home. In his view, basketball should inspire kids to value skill, hard work, discipline, and good sportsmanship, not teach them to target opponents through questionable tactics. Perhaps the most powerful part of Michael Jordan's reported comments was what he predicted about Caitlin Clark's future despite all these challenges. He reportedly believes that Caitlin Clark is built for adversity, and that every cheap shot, every dirty play, and every attempt to intimidate her will only make her more determined to prove herself through pure basketball talent. Jordan reportedly compared her situation to his own rookie season, when experienced opponents constantly tested him with physical play. However, he also pointed out one major difference. According to these reports, Caitlin Clark is dealing with that same physical pressure while also carrying the unmatched media attention and enormous expectations that come with being one of the most recognizable and marketable players in WNBA history. That is why Michael Jordan's reported support for Caitlin Clark has become such a major talking point. According to the claims circulating online, he is not simply defending a gifted young player. He is defending what he believes are the core values of basketball itself. In his view, Caitlin Clark represents everything that makes the sport special, including talent, vision, leadership, competitiveness, and respect for the game. At the same time, he reportedly believes that the type of behavior being discussed in connection with Brittney Griner represents the kind of approach that could ultimately hurt the sport if it becomes accepted. Michael Jordan reportedly made it clear that the WNBA is facing an important moment. In his view, the league has two possible paths. It can protect and promote its biggest stars, giving players like Caitlin Clark the opportunity to reach their full potential while helping the league continue to grow, or it can allow questionable tactics to become part of the game, making it harder for elite talent to thrive. According to these reports, Michael Jordan's message was clear. The future direction of the league may depend on the decisions it makes from this point forward. That also raises the question many fans continue to debate. Will the WNBA take these reported concerns about protecting Caitlin Clark seriously, or will it continue handling these situations the same way? Let us know what you think in the comments below. How do you feel about Michael Jordan's reported criticism of Brittney Griner's actions? Do you think he was too harsh, or do you believe his comments were completely justified? More importantly, do you think the WNBA will eventually do more to protect its biggest stars? Share your opinion in the comments because every viewpoint adds to the conversation, and I read every single comment. If you enjoy this kind of basketball analysis that cuts through the noise and focuses on the biggest stories in the game, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. According to the claims being shared, Michael Jordan's reported comments could influence the way people view Caitlin Clark's treatment in the WNBA moving forward. The basketball community continues to watch this situation closely, and as the story develops, one thing is becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. This discussion is no longer just about one game, one hard foul, or one controversial moment. It has grown into a much bigger conversation about the future of women's basketball, the standards the league wants to uphold, and the message it wants to send to players and fans alike. The league is now facing an important challenge as it tries to maintain its standards while deciding how to handle its biggest stars when the spotlight is at its brightest. Very few athletes have entered the WNBA carrying the level of expectations that Caitlin Clark has. Millions of fans watch every game she plays. Every move she makes is analyzed from every angle. Every achievement is celebrated, and every setback quickly becomes a major headline. That is the reality of being one of the biggest names in basketball today. At the same time, experienced veterans across the league continue to compete at the highest level, bringing years of toughness, pride, and experience to every game. The WNBA's responsibility is to make sure that intense competition never crosses the line into unnecessary or dangerous play. Fans want passion. They want rivalries. They want real, competitive basketball. But they also expect fairness, consistency, and respect for every player on the court. That is one of the reasons Michael Jordan's reported comments have generated so much attention. As someone who knows exactly what it feels like to perform under constant pressure, his opinion carries significant weight. Throughout his legendary career, Jordan competed against some of the toughest opponents and strongest defenders basketball has ever seen. Yet according to the claims being shared, his message was never simply about playing tough. It was about protecting the integrity of the game and making sure basketball skill, not controversy, remains the center of attention. There is no question that Michael Jordan's reported remarks have sparked a major debate. Whether you completely agree with his perspective or believe the situation has been exaggerated, the discussion about what should happen when the league's biggest stars become the focus of physical play continues among fans, analysts, former players, and media personalities. Should officials enforce the rules more strictly? Should the league hand out tougher penalties? Or is this simply part of professional basketball? Everyone seems to have a different opinion. One thing that has remained consistent, however, is Caitlin Clark's response. She has continued to focus on basketball instead of allowing controversy, physical play, or criticism to define her career. She keeps showing up, keeps competing, and continues proving why so many people believe she represents the future of the sport. That determination is one of the biggest reasons her supporters continue to stand firmly behind her. At the same time, the WNBA is receiving more attention than ever before. Conversations across social media continue to grow every day. Arenas are selling out, television ratings are increasing, and thousands of new fans are discovering women's basketball for the very first time. Because of that, moments like these affect more than just one player or one team. They also influence how the entire league is viewed around the world. As the season continues, every game will carry even greater importance. Every Caitlin Clark performance will be watched closely. Every controversial play will be analyzed. Every officiating decision will be debated. And every matchup will become another chapter in what many believe is one of the most talked about seasons in WNBA history. Now the biggest question is yours to answer. Do you think Michael Jordan's reported comments accurately reflect the current state of the league? Do you believe the WNBA is doing enough to protect its biggest stars while still allowing tough, competitive basketball? And what impact do you think this entire situation could have on Brittney Griner, Caitlin Clark, and the future of the league? I genuinely want to hear what basketball fans from around the world think, so make sure you share your thoughts in the comments below. Respectful discussion is what makes this community so valuable, and your opinion could even be featured in a future video. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more in-depth basketball analysis, exclusive updates, and the biggest stories involving the WNBA, NBA legends, and Caitlin Clark, don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications, and never miss another upload. Basketball history is being written every single night, and we're here to cover every major moment. Thank you so much for watching and for your incredible support. The next chapter of this story could be even bigger than this one, so stay tuned, leave your thoughts in the comments, subscribe, turn on all notifications, and I'll see you in the next video.